I would love to give you an update on our recent trip to South Sudan. As you can see, I'm sporting my South Sudan t-shirt today. It was a wonderful trip, and we're grateful that God was with us and we saw his favor every step of the way. There was some challenges prior to the trip, as there usually are. Satan doesn't want us to go. Family situations come up. We were working on the government approvals. We were praying. It was only 2 days prior to leaving that we received the approval to import the medication. So when we got there to South Sudan, we saw God's favor over and over and over every single day in every situation. And so thank you to those of you that were praying with us. From the moment that we got to the airport in South Sudan, all of our luggage arrived on time. It was probably the most expeditious time at the airport. They didn't hassle us or anything like that. And we got to our lodging, we got a good night's rest, we had a good meal. Then the next day, we traveled with our partner Mission Aviation Fellowship out to the area that we were serving, Orillo. Now, Orillo is probably one of the most remote areas with some really challenging roads to get out there. So if they would not have flown us out there, I do not believe that we would have been able to make it out there. So they brought the vehicles, the four-wheel drive vehicles, in for us from the capital city of Juba. They were all GPS tracked. We had a wonderful security company that worked with us to make sure that we were safe the entire time. So on the way to Orillo, we took 3 flights in, and all of our medical supplies went with us. And on the way out, there was 4 flights, and that was because of the weight. It's a small airstrip, small dirt airstrip, and it hasn't been used in several years. Quite a few years ago, actually, one of their planes got stuck there for 6 months. So when I was making preparations for this trip and I talked with them, they said that they would only consider bringing us there during dry season, which was December through February. So that's why we planned our trip the end of February. So when I say rainy season, okay, if we have rain in the US, it might last for a day or 2 or 3, but their rain makes roads completely impassable. Our host partner had tried to go last fall to get out to the area, and he couldn't make it. It was going to take like 5 days just from the next nearest city because of the road conditions. So our trip was strategically planned, but that just shows you how isolated these people are. And the people group that we served was the tenant people group. And there's about 18,000 people that live amongst the tenant. There's about 13 villages, and they have village chiefs. Many of them live on the mountainside. They live in very small houses. And so they traveled and walked long distances to come and see us. And it's not uncommon for them to travel because they travel and walk. When I say travel, it's not in any vehicles because there's no motorcycles, there's no bikes, there's no vehicles out there. Except for the only ones I saw was the 4 that came from the capital city of Juba for us to use. So they would walk long distances to come and see us, don't have shoes on their feet. So the shoes that we brought from our partner, the expandable shoes from Because International, were gone really quick every day, and probably within the first hour of every day. But what a blessing. So if you supported us with the shoes, thank you. Thank you. The shoes are wonderful. They're able to pass them down to another sibling when they outgrow them. So we had a wonderful team of 11 that traveled with us to South Sudan. None of them were new. They had all traveled to Africa before, and that's the type of trip that we were on. We needed people that had been to Africa before because the comforts were going to be much different, excuse me, than we have at home. There is no electricity in that area. There's no internet. There's no cell service. There's no running water. So this team was wonderful. We slept on some blow-up air pads, and we used some wet wipes for bathing for the week. My hair held up. At least I think my hair held up. We used some dry shampoo, but the team was so flexible. And I will tell you, they were not concerned about those things at all. They just have a heart for Jesus and to serve the people. We spent a month prior to the trip, excuse me, doing some spiritual preparation together, and that just really joined our hearts and unified our team to serve together. So before you knew it, we were fast friends. Every morning we would get up early at 6 o'clock. We would have our worship time, our prayer and devotions, and it was wonderful. And we had the missionaries that were working with us from Capro Calvary Ministries just worshiping with us, and it was such a wonderful way to start the day and just that time of prayer. And we would have some breakfast of some oatmeal and some fruit, and we would head on our way to go and treat the people. Now, what I saw was different in this area than in other areas of Africa that I brought teams before is there just seemed to be just such hopelessness and just so much sadness on the faces of the people. And I have to be honest, I understand that because they are so isolated. The kids are not going to school. They don't have the resources for the education. They don't have the money to pay the teachers. So one place that we did use, it was a school building, but it was completely deserted. And so education is a concern there. The biggest issues that we saw were lack of hygiene and sanitation, and I'll go into that in just a little bit. But the trip was amazing. We saw almost 1,600 people during the trip, and we were able to treat intestinal worms, which were some of the biggest issues. We had a baby that came to see us that was a year old and weighed only 6 pounds. And this is just one of many testimonies, similar testimonies. And the mom was not producing a lot of breast milk, and the child was really just lifeless. And one of our wonderful nurses was able to administer fluids to the baby, and the baby perked up. And we did a lot of health education for many of the moms that were having challenges with breast milk. And it's a cultural thing there. So we told them that they need to find another mother to provide some milk for their baby, or most likely their baby was going to die. We saw many that were malnourished, many issues due to the lack of access to clean water, but we had some wonderful testimonies. We brought a lot of the food manna packs from our partner, Feed My Starving Children, and what a blessing that they were to the people to provide some substance and good nutrition to them. Over 563 people opened their hearts to Jesus, and that's more than we've had on any other trip before. It was amazing. So we set up a prayer and counseling area, and about 820 people went to prayer and counseling. They met with a pastor or a missionary or an evangelist that shared the gospel message with them. And over half of them gave their life to Christ right then and there in front of the missionary. And then the Jesus film was shown a couple nights. That's a first for us, our team, to go and watch the film with the people. And it was in the Tenet language. It was beautiful. We sat outside in the darkness. They suspended the screen between two posts, actually like trees, and soon 150 kids were coming, and there were parents, but they were sitting still for 2 hours to watch the film. Our team was amazed because we knew that in the US, there is no kids, young kids, I'm talking about like 4 years old, 5 years old, that are going to sit for 2 hours to watch the Jesus film. But their hearts were touched, and they watched, and God drew hearts. And the first night, 10 people gave their life to Christ. And then when we were in the second village going to provide medical care, the Lord just impressed upon me the importance of walking through that area and just praying over the ground and praying over that region. Well, I didn't know that they were planning on the third night there to show the Jesus film, and 139 people that night gave their life to Christ. So just to be obedient and just our team's willingness to go. So there are so many that now are believing in Jesus, and we know that we will see them once again someday in heaven. So the team was wonderful. They were flexible. We had some great volunteers and translators that served alongside of us. We had some that originally grew up in that region of the Tennet, but now they are living in another city with their families, but they go back and they visit, and they've told us there hasn't been any change in this area in a long time. So grateful that our team could bring some hope into this region. Like I was sharing earlier, some of the issues that we really saw was due to the lack of access of clean water. And so most of them are using the water source of like a pond, and it's dirty water, and the animals are in it. And so it's affecting their health. A lot of them have stomach issues. They have diarrhea, sickness. I've heard of so many people that have lost family members. So we did a lot of health education for them of the importance of boiling that water before they drink it. They do have 6 wells within that area, but unfortunately 5 of them are not working. Currently, only 1 is working. So we did emphasize the importance of using the well, and we are looking at some resources to be able to repair these wells. But the issues are bigger. They just need, we did a lot of health education, and we did that every morning. One of our team members, Kathleen, did a wonderful job sharing some health education and also sharing the gospel. But we are looking for some resources to spend some time, more time in there, just doing education with them about the importance of hygiene, clean water, sanitation, building toilets, outside toilets, pit latrines. We did build one, and our team was able to use it while we were there. So those are some of the bigger issues. There was a pastor, and there is a church that is there in that region, and he was wonderful to just meet, serve alongside. He said he had been praying for quite a while for a team to come to that area. So we were in answer to prayer. But that's a big task to follow up on 563 people that gave their life to the Lord. They can't possibly fit in that church. So let's pray that more churches are built and led, and that God would raise up more pastors in that area. But our host partner, wonderful partner, Capro Calvary Ministries, is working on a follow-up plan for the ongoing evangelism and discipleship in that area. So pray along with us. We're excited about that. So our work is making a difference. It provided an opportunity for many people to hear the gospel, not just those that came out to the outreach, those that came to see the Jesus film. It encouraged those in that area that they have not been forgotten, that they are loved. We know that lives were saved while we were there with the medication that we were able to bring, good quality medication. And we know that many of them are applying the principles that we shared with them to their life. And so I'm so grateful for each of you, for your prayers, for your support. We're looking forward to hearing ongoing testimonies of the region that we serve, the Tennet People Group. So if you're not following us, be sure to follow us on our website at missionpartnersforchrist.org. We'll be providing updates through our newsletter on our Facebook and Instagram, and also on our website. Thank you.